This experiment answers the question, is salt water denser than fresh water? By participating in this lesson, children will have the opportunity to investigate density and answer their own questions about how salt water behaves. The children will find out that an egg will float in salt water yet sink in fresh water.
We begin this lesson by asking the children to solve a problem. How can we make an egg float? We also pose the questions, what do you know about things that can float? Why do certain things float? Many of the students knew that wood often floats and rocks usually sink. They also knew that rocks are usually heavier than wood, so they decided that things that are heavy sink in water. By asking the children to answer these questions, we allowed them to consider and share their prior knowledge. Also, it allowed them to begin the inquiry process, which all scientists follow as they work. One student was disappointed to see that her egg did not float in salt water or fresh water. She thought for a moment and then added more salt to her saltwater cup. She tried the egg again, and this time it floated. By actively doing experiments, children have the opportunity to problem solve and interact with scientific phenomena in a meaningful way.
Because the outcome of the experiment is so important to them, children focus and deeply understand scientific concepts. Also, research shows that children remember more by actually doing scientific experiments. Incorporating experiments into a scientific lesson helps children learn concepts better than simply reading from a text.
Notice that the students performing this experiment are always on task. As they work, the students talk, but their conversations are almost always about the experiment and the interesting things they see happening. The teacher spends virtually no time at all correcting inappropriate behavior, or at least significantly less than during seat work. The students are deeply engrossed in what they're doing, not to mention cooperative and intrigued. When children are actively learning, they have fewer opportunities to misbehave.
As they work through the experiment, the students ask their friends questions. One student asked, "Will the same thing happen with sugar water?" The child asked for some sugar, and the teacher gave him a bag she had in the classroom. On the spot, without any prompting, he completed his own experiment and found out that an egg will not float in sugar water. His next question, of course, was why.